Well, greetings, happy day. I'm in a really happy space right now. The past few days, my friends have just been having a lot of fun, talking about interesting things, having good things happening with them. One, one, one hippie couple had her married son for the weekend up at their place in the Yuba River Valley, and my other friend had her daughter and transgender partner at her place out in Benson, and oh gosh, and all the bands are starting to play again. Atmosphere and Black Cat Bones, and they're all, jibber jabbering about how wonderful it is to be getting back together again. And I'm just in a real happy space today, and I'm real proud of myself and my friends. I really, really am for the kind of people we are and for the things we've endured in our lives and maintained the presence of mind to stay nuts and not conform to this unsustainable industrial fascism, this industrial fascist world that these greedy, stupid people are trying to build. It's an alien technology, and yeah, for lack of anything better to call it, it's like these are mutant retail. They're mutant spawn of improper mating of a bonobo and a reptile. It's insane space reptilian space horde. Just to keep it cute. I don't know what the fuck happened, but there's some kind of corruption in the human genes that have led to all of the perpetual warfare and the combustion technologies and bloodletting. People are not like that. That's not our nature. That's not our job in this. It's not our role in this world. It never was. Something happened in Eden. And that's what the Adam and Eve story is. I don't want to, you know, stick with the classical theology on the subject of it being an allegory and uh, talking about the discernment between good and evil and the fall from grace and all that happy shit without talking about reptilian. And we took a wrong turn in the garden. Um, and all the killing and stuff, this is my feeling about it, after studying all the legends of the world, is there are certain things that are universally congruent with each other, like rainbow prophecies and various forms of simple ceremonies, like incense burning and prayer ceremonies, things like that, are very similar from culture to culture all over the world. Everybody's got the prime directive is the golden rule. You either live by it or you belong on another planet. Whatever the actual, historical fact is behind that, the obvious uh, what objective reality that we're faced with today is that we need to get rid of these people or the planet's going to get rid of us. It will kill as many people as it needs to shut down the fossil fuel industry. That shit needs to stay in the ground. Pipe the fucking water around and get just as much energy. Something like 97% of the potential energy in fossil fuels is blown off into the atmosphere. We need to stop. There's no discussion on this anymore. Anybody who's arguing about climate change, me, goodbye. And see, I'm getting wound up. I'm getting passionate. I wanted to sing two happy songs to my friends. Um, I when people ask me about my religion and politics, I like to tell them that I'm a devout eclectic and staunch middle of the roader. Rabbi Binstock was an omnist. He encouraged us to participate in other people's ceremony and feasting, and I did. And I've been with, I've never been in a Muslim. Uh, I've never been in a mosque, but I have Muslim friends here in town, in Arizona. That eventually I'll go to a mosque with them. But I've been in lots of native ceremony. Um, and I've been in lots of different kinds of Christian churches. Um, we used to go to Hare Krishna Temple a lot. I've been in Japanese Buddhist, Shinto, whatever they call it, that they had in Chicago. Um, it's all good. And, what's true and enduring is that we need to love each other with every fiber of our being, every waking moment of our lives. And if you don't like it, you either leave it alone or find a real loving way to correct what it's doing. But all the violence has to stop. Um, my personal feeling is that this planet has been terraformed for billions of years. No telling how old John Satan are. This planet has been manipulated by superhuman or super sentient beings, highly advanced sentient beings. No telling what species. Probably all of them that we're looking at today have gods of their species. I really feel sorry when the pig gods get back. People, oh baby, especially Caitlyn Jenner. Holy shit! No, I don't want to go there right now. The happy songs. Oh, maybe I can get there. Yeah, I can get there because I had a thought about that. But first, the happy songs, because I'm so proud of my friends, and what they're about and what they share with each other. D Robinson is probably the only one I'm going to even mention at this point. Come to think of it, I wasn't going to mention anybody. He's descendant of Sequoia, and his direct descendants were like prominent Cherokee leaders during the Trail of Tears time. And he's the one that received all the oral teaching, and he just constantly just spitting it out, and like, wow, this stuff is not. I mean, this is stuff that isn't even in the Smithsonian that's coming out of his head. Which he's got a lot of problems with people because they always challenge the veracity of it. But anyway, I like to call myself a devout, eclectic, and staunch middle of the roader. And as a staunch middle of the roader, I'm playing all these crazy forums from the political chicken land. So I get it from both directions. That people have their belief systems, and they all this propaganda that they believe is true, and it's conflicting. The liberals don't believe the same thing the conservatives believe, and here's all these people in the middle going, "Hey, wait a minute, you're both full of shit." And that's where I've always been. Is like, well, wait a minute, here's an exception. I mean, this is the way I was taught to think by my father and my teachers. It's pragmatism, synthetic pragmatism. Visualize everything, extrapolate everything. Take your set of parameters and scientific method and all that happy shit. You take your set of parameters and you start manipulating them to see how things will come out. And you figure out what's the best case and worst case scenarios, and you act on it. And you don't go and fucking swallow. Yeah, these people are just swallowing these like sticky Zionist fishtails whole, and have been straight along since 1923. It was heading in one direction that could have worked if Jabotinsky and all those fascists hadn't stepped up and started causing so much trouble and then taken over. If it had been allowed to evolve along the lines of the leftist Zionists like Weizmann and Arendt and Einstein were trying to go, they would have had a secular republic. There never would have been any partition. They probably would have, if it really was done right, but the British Crown manipulated everything between 1917 and 1923 to where they split. They set up all these warlords all over the place that would do business with them the way they wanted to about the oil and exotic fruit and spices and shit that England's always been trading for because they can't grow it on that bleak rock. They get a few. They get a few days of sunshine in the summer, and that's about it. Um, and it's always been about feeding empire out there since World War One. Um, and the empire, and consolidation of empires. That's what World War One and World War Two were about. Um, and it's the Morgan Rothschild New World Order crowd that are holding the bank, and the Swiss guys and all that crowd. Those are the people that are really, war's a racket, and it's they've got it fine tuned to where they can keep the war toys businesses nice and profitable with little bush wars everywhere and bloated deterrent forces doing exercises all the time. They can expend enough shit so that they can keep their factories rolling. But anyway, back to my happy feeling today, and I might go over to check out the kiwi farms and another message board real quick, so you can see, you can watch how my attitude deteriorates. And that's one of the reasons I'm in such a good mood, because I'm really avoiding that, and they just keep getting more and more absurd. Just the whole thing. It's like, excuse me, but what I admit to and what you're calling me don't match. I don't care what you think I said, but what the reality is, what I actually did, and what you're saying I did, and will continue to do, that's the important thing. I did these things in the deep dark past, even if they were horrible then. What evidence do you have that I may do something like this again today? That's ridiculous. And libelous. And criminal, the way you're going about inciting against me. But anyway, back. I really want to stay in the happy state. So anyway, I have friends. I have one friend who's a conservative Texas Christian woman. Okay, and I've managed to get her get about half a dozen of my friends who are like radical nonconformists, Wiccans, and into BDSM and shit like that. They're her friend now, because we know how to disagree politely, and reading. It only comes down to religion and politics that people end up disagreeing, and my friends and I are not constantly like beating on that. I mean, it's like, oh well, here's some more bad news, and this is what I think about it. And then we're posting more lighthearted things, travel pictures and pets and kids and affirmations and jokes, and so we, in spite of all the bad news, all the beer porn that few of us, like most of us, don't pay any attention to the MSM, and the ones that do don't get all sucked into it. We're pragmatic. We're kind to each other. And now I wanted to sing the two songs that young Jewish people have been singing to each other for who knows how long. And one is Shalom Chaverim, which means peace, my friends. And it goes Shalom Chaverim, Shalom Chaverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehit raot, shalom, shalom. And then there's Hine Matov Umanayim, or it's just Hine Matov. See how good it is to get together to sing and dance or something like that. And that has numerous melodies that we used to sing. The one that we sang the most in high school was a little newer. I think the ancient one is הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד. In high school was like, let me see if I can remember. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. On. So anyway, thank you, friends. I love you. I even love my toxic friends, but in a different way. And yeah, be happy that I'm doing it online, because you want some hard loving, I'll give it to you fucking in person there. Happy day. Thanks for watching. Bye.